Chances are, if you live in Utah, you've heard about the Forward Party. And what the Forward Party is basically an alternative to the Republicans and the Democrats. A lot of partisans on both sides of the aisle describe it as a moderate party, but really, in a lot of ways, it's extremely progressive and future forward, especially around election reform. The central agenda of the Forward Party is implementing something called ranked choice voting. And if you've never heard about it, I encourage you really to look into that because it's very interesting. But basically, rather than being forced to choose the lesser of two evils in every race, choosing the Republican or the Democrat, which is always going to leave half of the electorate pissed while half of the electorate gets the guy they want, you actually get to rank all of the candidates in the race from your most favorite to your least favorite. And if your most favorite candidate can't secure enough votes, then those votes transfer to your second most favorite candidate until eventually a broad consensus is met among everybody who voted. The main goal behind this is reducing the hyper-partisan radical gridlock that polarizes our country and prevents any legislation from getting through that actually isn't tied to a party platform, but rather just exists to help working people. And Utah actually passed a pilot program where they implemented ranked choice voting at the local level, and it went really, really well. People really liked it. But the Republican-dominated supermajority in the legislature decided to end that program and quietly shelve it. In fact, the man I'm running against, Rex Ship, even voted to terminate that pilot program 2 years early. My name is Thomas Lovehart, and I'm a lifelong independent who is running under the banner of the Democratic Party against the Republican incumbent Rex Ship this November. Because I want to give rural Utahns a real choice in the type of representation that they have. In order for me to win my race, I'll need lots of Republicans to vote for me. I'll need lots of independents and unaffiliated voters to vote for me, and libertarians and Green Party and Democrats. And I think that we're at this point in our politics. I mean, literally, the majority of Americans now identify as independents. But we don't trust someone to represent us simply because they say they are the Republican and we identify as Republican, or they say they are a Democrat and we identify as Democrat. I think most people are waking up to the fact that the majority of politicians are owned by corporate America. They don't want to solve our problems. A lack of affordable housing is not just an issue that exists here in Utah. That is a national issue. It exists in every state. And a lack of affordable health care is the same thing. It exists all across the country. Environmental pollution and ecological collapse, that is a national problem as well. A full 70% of Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck, while the top 1% owns a full 99% of the wealth that exists in our country. And we got here because too many of our politicians are willing to take bribes from billionaires and corporations and special interests to rig our democracy against us. So if you're someone like me who doesn't feel represented by this toxic two-party duopoly that gives us this illusion of choice while asking us to vote for the corporate career politician every time, then I want to invite you to a Forward Party meeting that is happening here in Cedar City on Saturday, May 2nd at 12:15. It's going to be hosted at the Cedar City Library, and I'm going to be there, and there's going to be a lot of other people, some of them former Republicans, some of them former Democrats, who all feel like it's time that we move past the stranglehold that the two-party system has on our country. If you're someone who really wants to make America great, then you have to realize that having unaccountable leaders that benefit from this rigged two-party system is not going to help you or your community get the types of representatives that they need. It is a charcuterie board event, so if you can, bring some cheese or bring some olives or some meats and meet your neighbors and talk about the solutions to the problems that we all experience here in Cedar City.